Hello everybody and welcome back to the part 2 of my Soviet Christmas light garland collection. So let's get started with this garland. So this is supposed to be a Mishko Pasaka, which in Lithuanian, in Russian will be Skaska. I don't know how to read in Russian this word. Skaska means Pasaka, and Pasaka in English means tale, like a bedtime tale. And this is actually a forest tale. It's called Forest Tale. So this is my actually homemade box because I didn't have an original box for this garland, and this is only the top part of the original box that I printed and colored with Sharpies. So I at least have some resemblance of originality. Like, don't you think so? So let's see the garland. So the garland itself is at least for me just atrocious design. I don't like these pine cones. They are just ugly, and if it weren't for me that I got this for free, I would never spend money on this thing. Like, it is a collectible item. It was produced in Soviet times and it is a Soviet Christmas garland, but I don't like design. This design is just atrocious. So yeah, you can see that this looks like fish scales. The design is like a fish, and the colors are fishy, like fish blood red. Like, ew, you get the point. I just don't like this garland. It just reminds me of fish, and I hate fish. So let's turn this on. So this garland is a generic garland. It has generic colors to it, and it has no green. And this is annoying the devil out of me, because I don't like garlands that doesn't have green in them. So this has yellow, red, white, blue. So yeah, the yellow is actually quite vibrant. It's more of a sunny orange yellow. The red one is like a strawberry red when lit, but when not lit, it looks like a fish blood. And this is blue, and this is white. And this is just experiment. I colored one of the white casings with pink Sharpie inside, and I created this, like, yeah, when I was a kid, you know. So yeah, I don't like this garland. I never use it. Actually, this is the truth of this garland. I never use it. I use all of my garlands except this one. It always remains in the box because I don't like the design. So let's move to the other garland. Welcome back. This is my homemade box for a very rare and very expensive garland. And this is called Zvezdochka, one complex, or the little star, and one set, I should say. So this is actually my homemade box, and it is not original box. I only found one picture of the original box on one of the Russian sites, and I printed it, and I decided to color it with Sharpies to the corresponding original colors. But I didn't have the time to do that because I go to a trade school. I have to play with mud all day long, and I just don't have time to do that. So it will have to wait, or I will just buy myself a colored printer. So who knows. So let's open the big ass box and let's see the garland inside. So yeah, the garland is moderate. It has very large casings. It is like a warm garland. It is a quality item. Like these sockets. Well, I don't want to ruin by pulling them out. These sockets are made from the heat-resistant plastic, but not these casings, decorative ones. Like the reel that holds the socket are heat-resistant plastic, and this is a good construction garland. Also on my NOS blue wire. So let's turn this on. So yeah, it also has the generic colors like the other garland. It is white, it is red, it is yellow, and it is blue. My grabby hands, sorry about that. So this is actually nice garland, but it has its drawbacks. Like for example, this design is bad because it is very pointy. You can stab a bitch if you want, and like if you step on this, like it will hurt like a butt cheek on a stick. Sorry about that. And yeah, the plastic on these casings is very flimsy. Like I can deform it very easily. It is very brittle, and it is very like cheap feeling, like this cheap feel of plastic. Like when you go to buy plumbing pipes in USA, and you, instead of buying something expensive for a long duration of life, you buy ABS black pipes, and like they're cheap pipes, like they're deformed from the beginning that you buy them, and ew. And yeah, this is the cheap plastic, but actually the colors are quite vibrant, which is the plus. So there is nothing to say about this garland more that it is average garland. It is a rare garland. It is expensive garland. I got this for 10 euros, and it is a nice garland, but I don't think it will make its way to our main Christmas tree this year, but we'll see. So let's pause for a minute and let's bring the other garland. Welcome to the kindergarten. I'm just joking. This is actually my homemade box that I made about a year ago, and this is my computer design actual presentation picture. I don't know how to call it in English. My knowledge of English is not that good, like the vocabulary. So this is the presentation cover, and actually on the original box it would say only these two words, which is, I don't know how to pronounce this, but phonoric. And if I could remember the translation, it would actually be the fairy lantern, and this snowflake would be like next to these two words, and the whole box was that. So actually, because these are two garlands made into one, and I needed this box to be large enough to hold two garlands in series, so I decided to make this box bigger and with more colorful design. We're using a cheap paint program on my Windows. I just designed these snowflakes to be various size, and I just printed them out and colored them with Sharpies. So this is actually a very sentimental garland to my family. This garland was my mom's childhood garland, and when she was 4 years old, her parents bought her this garland, and it was on her Christmas tree every year since that. And this is actually a very old and very nice garland. Actually, this was made in 1979. Both garlands that are in series, like these are 40 lamps, and one garland was the standard for 18 or 20 lamps in Soviet Union. So these are 40 lamps each. Not each, like 40 garlands total. Oh my god, learn to speak. 40 lamps in total. So let's turn these on and look a bit closer into details. So one thing to note is that this is not white, this is yellow. Like in real life, this is very, very yellow, but for some reason my camera picks it up as being white. So these are moderate size lanterns. They are made from plastic, and you can take them apart, and there is a lamp inside. So this is the blue one, and the blue one is actually the most vibrant of them all. Like, look at this coverage on my palm. So these are actually pretty big compared to my hand, and pretty nice lanterns. I really like these. Like, these are close to my heart. Every year when we decorate our Christmas tree, these go in the center because these are just amazing, and the feeling, they are plastic, they are cheap, they are not glass, but the warm feeling and the knowledge that this was my mom's childhood item and it still works to this day, it's just I don't know how to call it. It's just something about this garland. It's just very warm and cozy feeling, and I just really like this garland. Sorry about that. So yeah, This is a very sentimental garland. It's very beautiful, and this is actually one of the first versions. Like this uses a acrylic plastic. You can see it's like glass, and because of that, these are the more expensive ones, like the quality ones, because on later models they switched to the flimsy plastic, like orchid pots are made from, like these clear pots that orchid are selling, and when you take out the orchid, it's just flimsy like a balloon. And the later models of these were made from that plastic, and they're flimsy schmenzy, and because of the hot lamp inside, like they deformed very easily, and that wasn't good. So this is the one of the first versions, and I am really lucky to have these because these are rare now, at least the first versions. So let's pause and let's bring the last garland of this part. Welcome back. This is the last garland I will present today. It is Electro Ghirlanda Cascada, and it is actually translates to Electro Garland Cascade, like it cascades like Niagara Falls. Sorry about that. It is actually a homemade box, and the design is not original on the presentation cover. It is my homemade design because when I made this and I colored it, I didn't know that this garland actually has a box. And when I made this box, about 2 weeks later, I found out that this garland actually has an original box. Like, I don't have the box, but I saw the pictures on the internet, and so I was too lazy to redo it. So this is my homemade design. I am not mad at it, but it could be better. And this is actually the garland that was made from 1980s to the present day in USSR. Like, this is the original Soviet made type of garlands that use not a screw-in Edison mini base lamp, but a push-in connector. Like, if I can give you a close-up, let's try to do that if my camera won't be a stupid bitch. Here you can see these are push-in connectors, and the whole casing of the colored plastic is the holder for the lamp, and the lamp is just here, colored lamp. So let's come back to the main focus of the garland. So these types of commutator garlands, I call them commutator garlands because you push in, they make a connection, and it's like a commutator on the DC motor. Like, oh my god, I'm very sorry about that. This was very bad. And this actually has a very nice colors. Like, these look like candies. Like, don't you see them and you just want to eat them? Like, they're like little lollipops. Like, the shine is just perfect to be a candy. And actually, these garlands, like commutator style garlands, were made in very, very different forms and shapes and designs and sizes and colors. Like, there were 100 designs in Soviet Union. There were snowflakes, hexagons, pentagons, decagons, triangles, like different types of spheres, and like this is one of the more generic ones. Like, I had this since the last year, and it is one of the most popular commutator style Christmas lights in USSR. So let's turn these on. They look like candies, ain't they? So I really like this design. I like how they shine like a perfect lollipop. I just want to eat them. And these are so bright. Like, look at these colors, like they're just amazing. So the yellow is actually a very vibrant yellow, but it doesn't show on camera like that because my Android is cheap and it doesn't have a good camera, so sorry about that. So this actually has 18 lamps in series, each using 13-volt lamp, and in series, and in total it creates about 260 volts of needed electricity to maximum run these lamps. And our mains are 220 volts, and these 18 lamps work like a charm. They are not overheated. They are just bright enough to not burn your eyes. And the 18 lamps is actually a total amount you need for a garland such as this. but I wouldn't be mad if Soviet used this design to make garlands that are 100 lamps long. So sadly that wasn't the case. It was only 20 or on later models 18 lamps in series. So yeah. So thank you very much for watching the part 2 of my Soviet Christmas Garland collection, and I will see you in the part 3. So goodbye.